Yeah.
You're now.
Okay, we're going to call in the meeting to order. If you would all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Keep it down.
Okay, you all right? Let's go.
The boroughs comply with the notice provisions of the Sunshine Law by adopting prior to January 10th this year, a resolution prescribing the dates, times, and locations of all regular meetings of the commission. This meeting is one of the meetings listed in such resolution, and copies of the resolution were prior to January 10th filed with the borough clerk. Boroughs also comply with the notice provision of the Sunshine Law by advertising in two local newspapers to change the meeting date. Okay. Huh?
There are no minutes tonight, and I need a motion to follow the following reports: tax collector, municipal court, and zoning official.
Make a motion. Second.
We have the following ordinances. We have the second reading of public hearing of ordinance 1735, appropriating $50,000 from general capital improvement fund to the purchase of equipment for Robert's Pool, appropriating $125,000 from the water capital improvement fund for the improvements to water infrastructure, and appropriating $125,000 from the parking capital improvement fund for the purchase and installation of parking meters.
So this is money that we have raised in prior year budgets. We adopt an ordinance to spend that money. And just think of it kind of as a requisition. It's just setting up the formal expenditure. This is the public hearing on this ordinance. Anyone like to be heard on it? Please come forward, give us your name and address. Anybody at all? Okay, Colin?
Mayor Mallon?
Yes.
Commissioner Lewandowski?
Yes.
Commissioner Robinson?
Yes.
And we first reading of ordinance 1736, establishing cannabis business application escrow fee.
This is simply setting up an application process. We have a lot of companies coming to us that would like to get different cannabis businesses started. I think it's fair to say that they kind of range from huge corporations that are incredibly funded to the kid I knew in high school that smoked a joint. Okay, and that's kind of the range of everyone that believes they're gonna start a cannabis business. So this is setting up an application process so that we can try and only spend significant time with people that have some demonstrable ability to actually start one of these businesses. Okay, that's all this is. Public hearing will be at our May 2 meeting. Okay.
Mayor Mallon?
Yes.
Commissioner Lewandowski?
Yes.
Commissioner Robinson?
Yes.
I do want to comment that on the ordinances, it says document pending, all the documents have been submitted.
Yep.
We have the first reading.
And how let's do the next ones all together on first reading.
Okay, first reading of ordinance 1737, amending chapter 41 of the Code of the Borough of Collins with sign ordinance, and amending chapter 141 of the Code of the Borough of Collins with outdoor display ordinance.
And then I'm adding one more, 1739, which is amending the code with respect to outdoor seating. Okay. All three of these relate to an issue that has arisen where we have businesses that have begun storing or displaying different objects, materials in the right of way on sidewalks. People are putting different things out to try to help attract attention to their business, but they're being placed in areas that are kind of, think of it between the parking meters along the street. It's the right of way, it's hindering where people get in and out of cars, it's creating all kinds of issues. So we're adopting regulations that give people the opportunity to request approval to put something there and setting up some standards for review of that. Public hearing on these three ordinances will be at the May 2 meeting. Okay,
Mayor Bailey?
yes,
Commissioner Lewandowski?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
Public comment?
so this is public comment on the resolutions that are on the agenda. If anyone has any questions, comments about what's on the rest of the agenda, we're happy to discuss it. Yes, sir. Could you just give us your name and address? Yes.
Does it include the municipal budget?
The budget, we'll do a separate public hearing on that when we get to it.
Okay.
Okay? You can hang on to that. Yep, you got it. Anything else? Nobody want to fight any of these appointment resolutions? Nothing, huh? Okay. Okay, huh?
Appointing Jeffrey Joyce as fire chief of the Borough College and Fire Department.
Yes, and just want to say Jeffrey has been an integral part of our department, being a resident here in town, a big contributor. We were joking that when we heard there were a lot of people up here, we thought it was people that he had issued code violations against over the last few years. That's probably what helps pack the house, everybody that he cited for something at one time or another. But we're happy to have Jeffrey take over the able hands, and continue in the steps of Keith Davis, who I want to recognize that retiring Chief Davis is here.
Retired.
Been retired for about 8 months. But he also somehow lost a razor in just a few weeks, pretty quick time. But thank him again in public for your service. We appreciate it. Jeffrey, we're going to go through and do these appointments so we can bring everybody up to the swearing's in. But congratulations, and we're looking forward to great things. Okay, Hal, let's go through all the appointments.
Appointing Theodore J. Orris as lieutenant for the Borough College and Fire Department.
Congratulations, Ted Art. Yes.
Appointing Thomas Hurden as firefighter EMT for the Borough College and Fire Department.
Congratulations. We'll swear you in just a minute. Yes.
And appointing Frank A. Rossetti as full-time police officer for the Borough College Police Department.
It's not a good sign when the police chief goes hundreds of miles away on the same day that you're getting sworn in to start things, okay? But, Chief, yes, yeah. Chief Carey is left today for the FBI Academy. We wish him well, safe travels. Okay, now we'll do votes. Chief, you want to come up? These guys got a redder face than most flyers. I'm trying. I state your name.
I, Jeffrey Joyce,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey.
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and to the governments
and to the government
established in the United States
established in the United States
and in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties as fire chief for the Borough of Collinswood Fire Department,
all the duties as fire chief of the Borough of Collinswood Fire Department,
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. Don't go anywhere. Okay. Now we can bring everybody up. Okay, come on up. I need someone. Here, right here. Just like this, just one hand up a little bit like this. Now you can put his hand on it. Okay. I state your name. I, Theodore Word, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States.
That I will support the Constitution of the United States.
And the Constitution of the State of New Jersey.
Constitution of the State of New Jersey.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
That I bear true faith and allegiance to the same.
and to the governments
The government
established in the United States
established in the United States.
and in this state,
And this state,
under the authority of the people,
authority of the people.
and that I will faithfully, impartially,
Partially,
and justly perform
justly perform
all the duties as lieutenant for the Borough of Collingswood Fire Department.
duties as lieutenant, Collingswood Fire.
According to the best of my ability.
According to the best of my ability. So, congratulations.
Thomas Burton. Whoever's being summoned, get up here.
Who's got a happy hour yet?
Who's again?
All my friends, firemen from all over the state.
I state your name.
I, Thomas Burton,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
I will support the Constitution of the United States and
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
and to the governments
and to the government
established in the United States
established in the United States
and in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties
all the duties
as firefighter EMT
as firefighter EMT
for the Borough of Collingswood Fire Department.
for the Borough of
Borough of
Borough of
Collingswood. According to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me.
So help me God.
Congratulations. So firefighter Hurd fits the bill to mangle oaths as a long line of firefighters here have done. Long line. Those of them don't get their name. Congratulations. Congratulations. Years. Would you like a chair? Okay. Okay, fine. Okay. You got it. Raise your right hand. I state your name.
I, Frank Rosetti,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same,
and to the governments
and to the government
established in the United States
established in the United States
and in this state
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties
all the duties
as a police officer for the Borough of Collingswood Police Department
as a police officer for the Borough of Collingswood Police Department
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations to everyone. We know it's a big, big night for the borough and for all of you. Congratulations. Look forward to a lot of great work and keeping up the tradition of our uniforms in Collingswood. We appreciate your work. We have one more appointment resolution, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Appointing part-time firefighter EMTs to the Borough of Collingswood Fire Department, Brian Bax, Nicholas Frontino, and William Marshall.
Yes. And for those firefighters that are here, thank you. Congratulations. You do not have to stay for all of the meeting. You are free to head off to any festivities there might be. So head out. I just ask that you try to be a little quiet as you do, because we're going to keep rolling through things. Okay? All right. So good night. Congratulations. You can take off. Okay.
Probably gonna go out front. He's probably gonna be out.
I know. New person.
I don't feel like getting all that stuff.
Congratulations. Thank you. Good luck.
So, let me just briefly go over this. This is a consultant that will do an evaluation for recreation facilities within the borough, and then also do an assessment of potential
Oh my God, I was
so we'll be working in conjunction with schools as well. We'll be working with them to do an analysis of recreation needs and potential facilities throughout the borough, including back to high school, including everything we have to possibly find to make use for all ages to.
The good news is our recreation program is here to have. That's not good news is the town's not getting any bigger, so we really have to.
So that's, yes. Yeah.
LLC, third party EMS billing services.
Yes.
Qualified pilot application program year 2022.
Yes. Okay, so now we're gonna do the public hearing on the budget. The budget, the major impact on our budget has been trash. A combination of temporary measures we've had to put in place, as well as long-term permanent changes that we've put in place. Which long-term permanent are private now. We are picking up recyclables in-house. We are picking up trash that we use for third-party providers. Our costs have gone from roughly 600 a year to roughly $1.2 million a year. And we've had to make adjustments in other spots in the budget. The average increase for the average property in town is approximately $90. And it's a budget that's also taking care of things. We're still getting some roads done. We're still getting some of the water lines run. We're getting a bunch of water infrastructure done at the in the Conley Avenue plant, where we're taking care of some of these new contaminants that the DEP has changed the standards on. So that's our budget in a nutshell. This is a public hearing on the budget. Anyone like to bring anything? Wim, I know, just give us your name and address for the record you had asked earlier. Yes, sir.
I have a couple of questions. So the big change is basically in the budget based on price, is that correct?
That's the biggest cost increase we've had. That's the biggest cost increase in a line item I've ever seen. Yeah.
Okay. And a couple of other questions. The American Rescue Plan, how are you?
So a good portion of the money is being spent on water infrastructure, combination of preparing for the permanent fixes on our water plant in response to the PFOS and some of these new, they're not new contaminants, they're contaminants that the DEP lowered the standard that's acceptable. And so it's not just us, it's happening all over the state. Water utilities are grappling with how to address it. So we're putting a substantial amount of money into dealing with that.
Okay. And I just want to add that, doing things with capital is really important, because if you create a line item for another employee, well, that money's gone in a year, and then you still have to do it. So the idea of putting it not just things that are urgent and important and on our docket, but also things that are capital, I think is a wise.
Yeah, not recurring expenses.
I agree with that.
Sure. What else?
I actually had a question about some of the seem to be like go to the engineering and other expenses. So, for instance, budget of and was not really spent. You still have a higher budget.
Well, the process is one in which in 2021, let's go back to 2020. In 2020, for the amount of money that you didn't spend, okay, you raised that money. So we raised that cash. That falls to the bottom line into what's referred to as the surplus, okay? And that money that's fallen down to surplus is then used in the next year. Part of that surplus you take, first you try to keep, our policy is to try to keep at least $1 million in surplus. And then we also use some of that, what's over that, we'll use to supplement the budget. So it's an ongoing, it kind of carries over every year. And it's that way in case you have things like your trash bill doubles. Okay, it helps soften that.
Basically create a reserve.
Yeah, surplus, it falls to surplus. So that surplus is a line item. It's in the budget identified. Okay. And then in the next year, you put your budget together and you can take some of that surplus to help offset the tax rate. And it's a cushion that's set up in just municipal budgeting. It's not nothing special we do. It's a cushion set up so that you prepare yourself against a bad year. Okay, and there's also a line in it, there's a separate line for the reserve for uncollected. So you also have to have extra money in the budget for people who haven't paid the tax. Okay, because the school, I signed checks tonight, the school's getting $2 million. Like everybody else gets paid no matter what. So if we have a drop off in collections, we're still paying all those bills, so there's gotta be a cushion. Okay?
Another question, I've seen a couple of other municipal budgets, and they, for instance, have income from liquor licenses. Why are you considering to add that source of revenue?
So liquor, I'll give you my take. Liquor licenses were, an item before we, got 15, 20 restaurants in town. Back when we were starting to get restaurants, there was a big push to get liquor licenses, feeling that we could never get restaurants without the liquor licenses. Under the state law, we could do no more than 3, probably only 2, okay? And the decision back then was, let's make a push to do BYO, because we could probably get more restaurants in that way, as opposed to just having 2 liquor licenses. And I'll give you one other reason, so I think that ship has sailed. Like you wouldn't want now in what we have to now give some restaurant booze, okay? It's likely to upset the apple cart with everybody else, hurt their business. That's one reason. And the other is Cherry Hill may sell liquor licenses for $1 million. Collingswood liquor license is not going to sell for $1 million. We don't have the, a Houlihan that's going to go in.
Right?
Yeah, that's going to go in. We're not going to have that kind of.
Right, just look at the financial figures.
Yeah, I know. You have to look at both. It's not just about making a buck.
But those BYOB restaurants, how much will they actually budget of the town?
Their properties are all taxed. And listen, it's not about that everything has to make $1, okay? The restaurants in our town, I can't believe you would be questioning what good it is for us to have restaurants in our town. Okay, well, thankfully, there's thousands of people that don't think like you do.
And if I go to Westport and Montreal, I see half the population.
Like I said, our places are packed. They're all packed. Okay, so there's enough people that think it's a good deal. A lot of people like going to BYO because they take a really great bottle of wine and don't pay any markup.
The state has explored legislation that would change the way alcohol is served, maybe giving restaurants the opportunity to serve like signature cocktail type things. That hasn't happened. That won't happen at this level. Something like that came along, I think, where it's evenly applied, where there's not a buy-in. It could probably work, but that's not happening at a local level. We don't control the ABC.
Then I have another thing to do with income, the cannabis incomes, they're not in the budget.
Right, so we've talked to a bunch of people that are interested, but nothing materialized.
Okay, so do you expect, so.
There's nothing done, so we don't.
You can't budget on the speculation, because that'd be like cooking the books and saying, like, it's gotta.
Well, not say that couple of months, if someone like in August, what would you do if the revenues of that amount?
We collect them, but I don't think that's going to be happening that quickly.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Anyone else? Yes?
Hi, my name's Jean Moss. Sorry, there's no contact. We were recipients of some of the water infrastructure that happened back during February.
Okay.
And our street is pretty torn up, and Golden Borough, a few of us, we submitted photographs and, did what we were supposed to do, went to the borough and submitted, the paperwork that was necessary to ask the question, why is the street left the way it was prior to these massive trucks coming onto the street, tearing up the street?
Sure.
So, we have lots of holes, lots of debris, and that's not even touching base on the curbside stuff that's going on, because I did see a letter going about that. So I'm assuming that that's going to happen.
I'm sorry, you said, I just for my Okay.
Congress.
on Congress.
Okay.
Or
Yeah, on
Congress, so we're like right at that corner of the center and, you know, like.
Got it.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I know where. You're the street where, Bruno.
Yes. Right there.
Yeah, I know, go ahead.
Yeah, so I am sympathetic to the fact that it's been going on longer than scheduled. There's been engineering pushbacks, there's been concrete pushbacks due to weather. So I'm sympathetic, it's not great, but it is wrapping up. It'll be wrapped up in the next week or so. We're gonna put some grass seed down, level out, sweep all the stone and stuff that's built there. There is that issue further down with the plate there.
Oh, yeah,
That's,
yeah.
so that's GCMG, and then we're getting a bad rap for that. We were calling them nonstop, finally got them out, we're having a separate issue. Because
I was like looking down like at the corner of Tito. Like right there, that's really torn up. I don't know how that happened. I just assumed it was because of all these big trucks. I was like, we have big patches that hasn't taken care of, but that end going down Tito is just a mess.
Okay,
Yeah, I think.
so it sounds like the next few weeks you should be seeing something get resolved. Okay? Any other questions on the budget? I want to make sure we got the budget.
Yeah, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
Ben Bruno,
Yes, sir.
446 Agdon.
I'm good, man. Good to see you.
What are you gonna do with the driveway in the back of Common Avenue? It hasn't been repaired over 30 years.
Okay,
My wife was here 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, twice. And you told her, these new commissioners, I don't know, they weren't here. You take it under advisement. When is the advisement finished? The last time it was fixed was Bianchini was here, which is over 30 years. You got potholes all over the place.
okay. I
When
don't
are we
recall,
gonna get
Stephen.
it? You got a budget, you're talking budget. I don't wanna hear, take it under advisement. When are you gonna fix
So are you talking about the behind the outside or the even side, the dead end alley or the other alleys?
the other out? Is that end out?
The dead end alley.
Or of course, on the even side, that driveway hasn't been repaired in over 30 years.
So we got a, did you call a couple weeks ago? We did
Huh?
get a complaint, we have, that's on the list to be addressed pothole wise as far as any.
Well, hey,
beyond that to be
potholes,
repaid.
With all due respect, you've been doing nothing but potholes. When you've got a budget, give us a payment. You know,
Okay,
that's.
well, I'm not gonna tell you we'll take it under
Please don't
advisement.
tell me you're gonna take it under advisement.
DPW will take a look at
Well, I got an answer one way or the other,
it.
Mayor.
Sure.
I mean,
No, we'll give you
under
this.
advisement ain't gonna cut it.
You got it. All right, okay? So we'll talk.
So, yeah, I'll talk to you after the meeting, I'll get your contact information.
Huh?
I'll talk to you after the meeting. and-
Oh, I'll give you his contact information.
He knows me, I've been
That's
around,
it.
I've been around 50 years, okay?
Yep.
Thank you, sir.
All right, any other budget comments, issues, questions? Art, anything on there? Thank you. Okay, Hal. We need to vote on it.
Yes. We have an amendment, I'm sorry, authorizing an amendment to the 2022 municipal budget.
Yes.
I thought you were taking, want to ask
And,
questions. I saw you get up here a couple times. I didn't know what the hell you were
Adoption of
doing.
the 2020 municipal budget, Mayor Bailey.
Yes.
Commissioner Lewandowski.
Yes.
Commissioner Robinson.
Yes.
And then we have the approving the payment of the bills as presented by the treasurer.
Yes.
Yes.
That's all I have.
No,
Okay,
I'm getting tired
in
of
light of
taking
all the
advice.
festivities this meeting, I'm gonna go right to
Yeah,
any
enough's
questions,
enough.
comments anybody has?
I've been here over
Anything else?
50-some years. Same house.
Okay, we're adjourned. Thank you.
West Philly.